This is Life with Busy, Edwin, George, and Nora, Marty, and Casey. Living life with Derek. Living life with Derek.
Hey everybody, so recently I went back and I rewatched Life with Derek, which if you don't know is a Canadian TV show that ran from 2005 to 2009. It had 4 seasons and it was airing on Family Channel, which I would say is like the Canadian equivalent to Disney Channel. And there are some shows from like Family Channel and Canada in general that ended up crossing over to America and airing on American channels. For example, Total Drama is a Canadian show and that's been on Cartoon Network for years and it's big in America too, as well as like the rest of the world. Also, My Babysitter's a Vampire is also a Canadian show that ended up being broadcast on Disney Channel. That's how we found out about it and it became big in America too and the rest of the world. And there's a bunch of other shows. I'm pretty sure 16 is a Canadian show. Life with Boys, which I made a video about already. And Life with Derek, which is what we're talking about today. So what was Life with Derek? Life with Derek was a show about a blended family where one family was a 16-year-old girl named Casey, her little sister, and their mother, their single mother. And then the other family was a 16-year-old boy named Derek, his younger brother, and then their 4-year-old younger sister, and their single father. And then both of these families come together and create one giant family. Now, here's my background with Life with Derek. So I've always known about this show's existence because of what I said earlier of how a lot of Canadian shows were broadcast on American networks, and Life with Derek was one of them. I never sat down and watched an episode before, but I've always known about it and I've known about the plot. And I knew about the theme song because back in the day, I would always go on YouTube and just search up Disney Channel theme songs, and I saw like a compilation and it had like all these different shows, the theme songs for the shows, and Life with Derek's theme song was included in it. So I've always known the theme song, and this theme song also tells the story of the show, the plot of the show inside of the theme song. So, well, don't all theme songs do that? Not all, because like iCarly's theme song has nothing to do with the actual show in my opinion. But anyways, I've always known about Life with Derek to an extent. I've known about its existence, its plot line, and its theme song. However, I haven't sat down and watched the entire show until very recently. It took me about like a week. I binge watched the entire show from beginning to end. So I originally wanted to make a reaction style video of me reacting to the pilot episode of Life with Derek so you guys could see firsthand me experiencing the show for the first time. However, when I tried to do that, the episode that I watched was actually a season 4 episode. I thought I was watching the pilot episode, but apparently I was watching an episode from season 4. So my first exposure to a full episode of Life with Derek was a season 4 episode, and not the pilot episode. So that's why I ended up just scrapping that whole video. But I did watch the whole show from beginning to end, and I have a lot to say. Like I said beforehand, I knew a little bit about the show, I knew about the theme song, but I also knew about the controversy surrounding Life with Derek. So, as you know, the two main characters in Life with Derek are Casey and Derek, who are two teenagers. You know, they instantly become step-siblings and move into the same house and are like part of the same family now. Now, the big controversy or big elephant in the room surrounding the show is, I don't know if I can say this word on YouTube, so I'm just going to spell it, incest. You know, where family members do things that family members are not supposed to do, getting a little too close to each other, if you know what I mean. The royal family. Shade. Okay. Not the full royal family now, but like, you know, back in the day. Anyways, so that was the big like controversy surrounding the show, and I knew that going into rewatching the show or watching the show for the first time. I knew that that was a controversy surrounding the show, so as I was watching each episode, like I watched it really, really carefully, and I was like, let me pay close attention. Is this really true what people are saying, or is it just all talk? So I watched it, and in my opinion, I don't think the people are correct because from what I've seen, Derek and Casey can't stand each other. Like, they hate each other. I know on a lot of Disney and Nickelodeon shows and stuff, and just like sitcoms in general. A lot of children, a lot of siblings, like they fight a lot and they don't get along all the time, which is true in like real life. But these two, Casey and Derek, they fought a lot, like a lot, to the point where it's like, oh my goodness, how can you guys hate each other so much? Well, in Casey's defense, most of the issues is just like Derek being a jerk towards her and everybody else, because Derek is not a good person. I don't understand how people in that show, like all the high schoolers that went to school with them, thought of Derek as like, oh, he's this bad boy and he's so handsome and so stunning to look at and he's just a rebel. And I'm just like, girl, calm down. Casey's best friend was like head over heels for Derek, and I'm just like, he's a terrible person. And he's like incredibly rude to your best friend and really destroying her life like all the time. Like, how can you fall for him? But I don't know, people did. He's had several girlfriends throughout the show. One of them, the one that was the most serious girlfriend towards the end of the series, was played by Erica from My Babysitter's a Vampire. So that made me happy that she was in the show. I love her actress. Kate Todd, I'm pretty sure. Yeah, love her. I wonder what she's up to. But yeah, Derek was just not a good guy. He was always getting in Casey's way, trying to sabotage her all the time. And Casey, like, she was a good person, but sometimes she just get like really super type A and annoying sometimes. She had a counselor, the guidance counselor at the school. And the show, of course, it doesn't have like a lot of black people on the show, just because like, I'm not even like disappointed. It's just like expected from these types of shows. But what rubbed me the wrong way a little bit is like Casey would always come and complain like, oh, Derek is doing this and this and this, and oh, woe is me. And then literally her guidance counselor is a black man who's like dealing with like racism and like all these real issues, which I know guidance counselors have to deal with like teenagers and their issues, and a lot of things happen to you when you're a teenager and it's a confusing time and you're looking for guidance. But like once you're an adult and you look at like your teenage self and all the things that you considered big issues, you're like, what was that tripping for? Like that was not even that big of an issue. I'm about to get kicked out of my house for not paying my rent on time. That's a big issue, not Jessica unfriending me on Facebook, you know? And it just didn't help that like Casey was like a white girl complaining about her issues, and then the guidance counselor was literally like a black man, one of the only black people on the show, just sitting there just listening to her issues. So I found that funny, but I also did not see the allegations and the controversy surrounding the show about, I'll just say the word incest, and Derek and Casey like actually liking each other and being like in love or something. I didn't see it. If anything, they hated each other. They couldn't stand each other. Like before Casey's mom and Derek's dad got together, they were so worried that it wouldn't work out because of how much Casey and Derek hated each other. I mean, maybe I'm just blind and I don't see it. Maybe they secretly loved each other the whole time and were like hooking up when nobody was watching. And maybe I'm just blind. But to me, they hated each other more than any other siblings on Disney or Nickelodeon or anything. On the bright side about the show, at least they never lied about the fact that they were in Canada. Life with Boys, they tried so hard to convince us like, oh, this show is set in New Jersey and we're New Jerseyans. We're from New Jersey. Whatever you call people from New Jersey. Like the show was set in New Jersey, but they didn't speak like people from New Jersey. They didn't even speak like people from America. They had a Canadian accent on that show. But Life with Derek, they were like, no, we're Canadian and we're not gonna lie about it. And I like that. So yeah, that's my opinion on Life with Derek. I would go watch it. The show is not on Disney Plus. For this show, people think that it's because of the controversy. For me, I saw no controversy. I just saw that they hated each other. I'm like, they didn't kiss or anything on camera. They weren't like in a relationship together. They weren't like snuggling all the time. No, they were just like, they literally hated each other. So I didn't see what everybody else saw, but if you saw it, please enlighten me, because I would like to see what everybody else sees, because I don't see it. Anyways, that's it for today's video. Did you guys ever watch Life with Derek? Let me know what you guys think about the show. And if you saw like what everybody else sees between Casey and Derek. I said Carrick like that's their ship name. Oh my gosh. Okay, bye.